Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood mad woman here, and yes, you're seeing what I'm seeing. And no, she didn't say it, but we're going to go through this article because this article tweaks a lot of nerves, but I am going to try and be chill going through this article, even though this article just it makes my eye twitch because oh God Lord. And we're also going to point out something that somebody probably didn't catch, but I'm not going to, point any fingers or name any names. So here we go. Wonder Woman will stop using her phallic sword because it's too aggressive. That's right, fanboys. No more sword. Actress Gal Gadot said recently that Wonder Woman, the iconic superheroine who punches, kicks, and otherwise bludgeons her foes, will no longer carry a sword because it's too aggressive. Princess of the Amazonians, demigoddess, warrior princess, if I remember correctly, daughter of Zeus. She doesn't like losing fights, but the sword is too aggressive. The sword, it's the sword that's too aggressive. Ah, kidake. Galdo, who is set, let me rewind that because I totally blew that. Gadot, who is set to reprise her role as the Amazonian warrior princess, there we go, Amazonian warrior princess, in the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984, made the remarks on Sunday while addressing media and fans at Comic-Con Experience at Sao Paulo, Brazil. Wonder Woman does not carry a weapon. Yes, she does. She carried it in Kingdom Come. She's had the sword, the shield, and the armor for a long time, okay? Most of us know her with the rope or the lasso, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it a lasso from here on out because we're going to get a little more into the creator a little further into the article. Let me see. We had an intention to let go of the sword because there's something very aggressive with the sword. Not the woman that beats people's faces in, the sword. She said in footage of the event captured by Cinepop, if you have a sword, you need to use it. Not really. Only in cases where it's actually needed to be used. You don't need to have it out all the time. So we wanted to give that up, and we didn't feel that the shield was necessary either, so no shield. She's a goddess. She can fight, she's super strong, and she has the skills and the lasso. She can fight, but it's the sword that's too aggressive. She hates losing. She will fight until she wins or dies, but it's the sword that's too aggressive. The sword. It's the sword. Godot also spoke out in support of victims of domestic violence. I have my ad blocker, so this didn't do it. I would deeply encourage every woman person who is in a violent relationship to reach out for help. She said no one deserves to be in such a situation. I agree with that. I agree with that. Because men and women both can be victims of domestic violence, so I don't particularly like the fact that she said every woman person. That kind of pinches a nerve. Media outlets have made such Media outlets have made much of the supposed cultural resonance of the Wonder Woman film series, which features Godot in a lead role and is helmed by female director Patty Jenkins. I loved the first movie. I can't wait for the second movie, but I digress. Some of them might welcome the decision to relieve Wonder Woman of her phallic sword. Here it comes. Here it comes. A small minority of Twitter users on social media took issue with the weapon around the time the first Wonder Woman film debuted. Am I the only one bothered by the sword in the new Wonder Woman poster? Why does it look so phallic? Why is that all I can see? Tweeted one such user. And this is the user. Don't go harass her. This is back from 2016, over 3 years ago. Don't worry about it. In my response to her tweet, if you're fixated on the sword and not the movie, you're not paying attention to the movie. And maybe you're suffering from a form of non-fuckitis and haven't had dick in a while, which is why you're focused on a phallic symbol and it bothers you so much. Just saying. Get you some, honey. Can't be that hard. Wonder Woman is an ultra-feminine peacemaker. She's a warrior princess. She's an Amazonian warrior princess. Let me say that again and add to it. She's an Amazonian warrior princess, half goddess. Zeus is her father. You know, the guy with the lightning bolts, the father of the father on Olympus. You know, dad to like, oh, I don't know, um, Ares. But it's the sword that's aggressive, y'all. A sword is a lethal phallic symbol. Oh, God. Why they don't go together is not complicated. Well, I am going to posit a certain theory after this particular article because this is getting on my nerves. British comics researcher Rich Johnson has written on the tension between Wonder Woman's feminine pacificity. She's not a pacifist. She's a warrior princess. She's not a pacifist. And her martial aggression. The original conception of Wonder Woman saw her hardly ever use a sword. That was in the earlier, preferring the pacifying power of the lasso. There are gender issues here. The sword being a phallic symbol in fiction, and also in a lot of pagan traditions, with a chalice or a lasso being more feminine. And yes, it does make for an interesting rereading of much of the original Western pulp literature, Johnson wrote in a 2017 blog post for Bleeding Cool. According to Johnston, Wonder Woman's origins stem from the women's sexual liberation movement and the rise of Planned Parenthood in the USA. Wonder Woman creator William Moulton Marston's polygamous girlfriend, Olive Byrne, was the niece of Margaret Sanger. I'm not going to continue that. He was also into bondage, which was one of the reasons why she carried the lasso. Just going to leave that there. Wonder Woman's creator was into bondage. But it's the sword that's aggressive. I know I keep alluding to that. I really know I keep alluding to that, but it's just I keep alluding to that for a reason. It's evident that with a lot of these people who are taking issue with the props that Wonder Woman uses, with the weapons that she uses, that they haven't followed her history from her inception to today. There are several comic books in which she is featured where she carries the sword, where she uses the shield, and she has enchanted golden armor. For those of you that have never seen her in the armor, I saw her don it in the Gothic novel Kingdom Come. That was the first time I saw her in the armor, wearing and carrying the sword, because she had a brief exchange with Superman to tell him that kryptonite wasn't his only weakness, that he was also vulnerable to magic. And also in Kingdom Come, Captain Marvel, who is now known as Shazam, almost killed him using the magical lightning bolt. But I digress. If you have a problem with her wielding a sword, the problem is yours. Because there's a lot of people that don't mind her using the sword. I don't mind her using the sword. It's part of her weaponry. It's part of her arsenal. Those of you who think she's a peacekeeper, I've already repeated it several times over. Really. Amazons in mythos could not only be philosophers and were very intelligent and can sit down and hold conversations, but they were more known for being tall, muscular women and warriors than they were for being diplomats and such. So I'm just going to leave that there. And that ends another video. Hit that like button if you liked it. There's that dislike button down there. But if you didn't like the video, please continue the conversation in the comments below whether you liked it or not. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, well, turn it from bright red to me to that nice little muted gray. Don't forget to hit the bell, and YT might tell you next time I upload. You never know with YouTube, right? All of my socials and ways to support the channel are in the description below, including a new Redbubble store. See you guys in the next